Well, do your best, I guess. Why can she say that so confidently? Was I not good enough? Is that why she dumped me and chose Emily? Emily stole Jack from me, and then. The more I try to understand, the more my head gets all mixed up. Emily looking down at me with that smug face. Looks are everything for a woman. Yet, Emily said that without care. As if mocking me. I can't take it anymore. I've reached my limit. I muttered softly. But even someone like me has some fight left. The moment I thought that, something started to burn inside me. I won't let it end like this. My name is Naomi Johnson. I work at a small real estate company in a town, a 29-year-old single woman. But being single doesn't mean I don't have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend who works at a major company, my pride and joy. His name is Jack, and we've been dating for 3 years. His full name is Jack Smith, and he's a busy salesman at a major company. He's personable and serious. Maybe he glorifies himself a bit too much, but that's part of his charm. But it's not like I don't have complaints. We've been dating for almost 3 years, yet we don't live together. I thought if we were considering marriage, naturally we'd move in together, but that was just my thinking. Jack wanted to respect our private lives until marriage. With his busy job and eventual plans for marriage, I accepted Jack's idea that we didn't need to rush into living together. It's not like we can't see each other. We date once a week and communicate daily. This became our routine, moving towards marriage. But it all fell apart on our 3rd anniversary. It started with a fight over suspicions of my cheating. That's really annoying. Why do you say it like that? I haven't done anything. Don't lie. I heard you've been cheating on me with another guy. I would never cheat. But Jack insisted that I did. Who would tell such a lie? Please believe me. No way. I don't want my future with someone who could betray me. It's over between us today. Don't ever show your face to me again. Jack, with those merciless words, kicked me out of the apartment, locking the door behind me. If you don't leave, I'll call the police for a suspicious person. With Jack's merciless words ringing in my ears, I left the apartment, my steps faltering in shock. Why did it all come to this? I just can't understand. The tears wouldn't stop. How do people see a woman like me? Walking like a lifeless person. I couldn't think, didn't want to. The hopes I had for the future shattered in minutes. I just wanted to disappear. Then, through my tear-filled eyes, I saw a light. It was my favorite spot. Kai's Diner, my favorite diner. Whenever something happens, when I'm feeling down, or when I need to cheer myself up, I always come here to have a burger. Of course, I come here when I'm happy too. That's how much I love the burgers here. The taste is just to my liking, hearty and satisfying, and eating one always warms my heart and body, giving me energy. Maybe that's why I naturally found myself walking here. I hadn't eaten anything, and my stomach was growling. Maybe I should go in and eat. But it was different this time, the place was about to close. The sign was still out, but the owner inside had already started cleaning up. Just as I decided to give up and leave, the owner came out to take in the sign. "Ah, good evening." I unintentionally greeted him. But the owner, with his usual kind smile, returned the greeting. Feeling suddenly embarrassed, I quickly left and headed back to my apartment. Then, on my way, I unexpectedly ran into someone. "Emily? Huh? Isn't that you, sis? What are you doing here?" That was my line. I never expected to meet Emily here. Emily is my younger sister by 3 years, whom I hadn't seen in about a year. "You look like your life is over." "What happened?" "Nothing in particular." "Let me guess. You got dumped by Jack, cried your eyes out, and now you're heading home, feeling pessimistic about your future, and then you bump into your little sister? How do you know about that?" Emily showed a sly smile. "Okay, I'll give you a hint. I have someone I like. But until recently, that person had a girlfriend. Now here's the question. What did I do to eliminate her?" "What are you talking about? You still don't get it?" "Okay, I'll give you the answer. The correct answer is, I lied to the person I liked that his girlfriend was cheating on him." Emily looked at me and grinned wickedly. "What have you been saying all this time? Come on, it's a puzzle, figure it out yourself. It's no fun otherwise, right?" Well, I'm off. Think about it carefully. With that, Emily left. A month had passed since Jack and I broke up. Facing this painful reality was harder than anything I had experienced before. A month was not enough to return to normal life. But I had to keep up with work. I focused on my tasks and finished another day. Maybe I'll go have a burger. It's been a while. Since then, I haven't been to Kai's diner. I couldn't bring myself to go there with my feelings being so unstable. But today, maybe because I could focus on work, I felt a little more positive. It wasn't exactly a reward for my hard work, but I decided to go eat a burger after a long time. However, on the way there, I unexpectedly ran into someone. Huh? Isn't that Naomi? Jack. The last person I wanted to see. Just when I felt a bit more positive, why did I have to run into him at this time? Jack with a smirking face. Does he find it amusing to meet the woman he dumped? Fancy meeting you here. A woman eating alone at a diner? You might be seen as lonely, you know. Why don't you pick up some old guy walking around? You look decent enough. Just like that, after we broke up. To Jack, I must already be a thing of the past. If I stay here, he might say something even worse. I averted my gaze, intending to leave, when I heard a familiar voice from behind Jack. Big sis, long time no see, like a month, right? Emily. So, did you solve the problem I gave you? Looks like you haven't yet. I had completely forgotten about the puzzle Emily had posed. But there she was, looking at me with a sly smile. You really don't get it? Then, Jack came next to Emily, pulled her close, and hugged her right in front of me. Don't you get it now? Are you dating? At my words, they looked at each other and laughed. You finally got it? How dull can you be? Really? I made the right choice breaking up with her. Emily is just perfect in every way as a woman. Perfect is overstating it. She's just a bad woman, that's all. But I mean, how could you not get it, even with such an obvious puzzle? That puzzle? The one about breaking us up? I was surprised when I heard it, but now, I'm grateful. I'm glad I don't have to spend my life with such a terrible woman. As they laughed heartily, I stood there, stunned. Big sis, you're really hopeless. Your boyfriend got stolen by your little sister, and you didn't even notice. But hey, I guess it's something that Jack, who was still dating you, made moves on me, right? Can't help it, right? Emily is my type. If I had missed this chance, I would have missed out on my happiness. With each shocking revelation, I felt my strength leave me, and I collapsed on the spot. Hey, don't sit down here. Really, it's like we're bullying you. What are they even saying? What am I doing here? Perhaps due to the shock, I couldn't comprehend the situation at all. Sorry, big sis. It's my fault for being too beautiful. So, you should also try to become beautiful. I'm sure you can do it. Use this frustration as a springboard to move forward. But even if you do, at the end of that path will be me, married to Jack and happy. Too bad for you. Well, do your best, I guess. How can she say that so confidently? Was I not good enough? Is that why she dumped me for Emily? Emily stole Jack from me, and then... The more I try to understand, the more my head gets mixed up. Emily looking down at me with a victorious face. Looks are everything for a woman. Despite my feelings, Emily said that, as if mocking me. I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. I've reached my limit. I muttered under my breath. But even in this state, I had a spirit that wouldn't back down. At that moment, something flared up inside me. I won't let it end like this. I'm not going to say anything about what you two did. But just this, you'll definitely regret leaving me. And Emily, I will never forgive you for ruining my life. However, the two of them didn't take my words seriously at all. Instead, they laughed loudly and made fun of me. Then, at that moment, excuse me, but we can't have disturbances in front of the diner. If you continue, we'll have to take some action. The owner of the diner had stepped in to intervene. Suddenly interrupted by the owner, the two of them stopped talking. What will it be? Continue or leave this place immediately, which one? The quiet pressure from the owner was overwhelming them. Jack tried to say something, not wanting to be defeated, but he couldn't find the words. And Emily crouched behind Jack, trying to hide. The owner, indifferent to their reaction, kept approaching them with a stern look.
Let's go, Emily. Wait. Don't leave me behind.
And with that, they ran off. I didn't do anything, but somehow, I felt relieved. As I approached the owner to thank him, he turned and walked back into the diner without a word. Excuse me? Reacting to my call, the owner stopped and turned around. I'm Grub. Kai Grub. He introduced himself, then quickly went back inside. I really want to thank him properly. I waited outside until the diner closed. Occasionally, as I looked inside, our eyes met. He seemed to be bothered by my presence outside. When the diner closed and Kai came out to take care of the sign, he walked towards me. I thought I had been too persistent and had bothered him. Bracing myself to be scolded, I looked down. Then, unexpectedly, Kai Grub said something I never anticipated.
Marry me.
Excuse me? I was stunned by his sudden proposal. But Kai's face was different from before, slightly red and somewhat embarrassed. Is that a proposal?
Yes, it is. I mean, would you consider it? Am I not?
It's not that you're not, but... I'm just surprised, it's right after we first spoke.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Forget what I said.
Saying this, Kai Grub went back inside to continue cleaning up. I was surprised by his sudden proposal, but it gave me energy. Half a year passed, and my feelings had settled down considerably, returning to a peaceful daily life. The only difference was that I was now working full-time at the diner. A month before Kai's sudden proposal. I was confused at first, but after going home and calming down, I found myself constantly thinking about Kai. Whether at work or in my personal time, he was always on my mind. Was I just intrigued because he proposed to me? I couldn't understand my own feelings. What could clear this haze in my heart? Then, an outrageous idea came to me. If I'm thinking about it so much, I should be closer. That meant working as a part-timer at Kai's diner. I thought it might clear my doubts. They say, act on your thoughts, but I, who had lived a life far from such actions, surprisingly decided to do it. After work, I stopped by Kai's diner and ordered the usual burger. Though I hadn't eaten it for a while due to various reasons, Kai's burger was as delicious as ever. I finished every last bite. With my heart full of satisfaction, I made my request. Could I work here as a part-timer? Kai was surprised by my sudden offer. Is that okay? Then Kai, shaking his head no, smiled happily. I was just thinking about hiring a part-timer. The diner is getting busier, and I can't keep up. If you are willing to work with me, there's nothing I'd welcome more. So, the next day, I started working at Kai's diner as a part-timer. The first days were challenging with new tasks. I repeated orders and sometimes spilled water. While I would normally expect to be scolded, Kai was always kind. The customers were also nice, encouraging me instead of getting angry at my mistakes. Eventually, they started to remember my face and name, and some even said they came to see me. Working here was fun and fulfilling. It was clear that I was more suited for this than my main job. 2 months passed. Kai, I want to work here full-time. His response was an immediate offer. Of course. With you here, the diner is thriving even more. There's no reason to say no. The next day, I informed my company that I was leaving and resigned 2 months later. Finally, I became an employee at Kai's diner, working alongside Kai. Then, one day, after closing and cleaning the diner. Naomi, can I talk to you for a moment? Kai looked serious. Was something wrong, or? Over these months, my relationship with Kai had slowly but surely progressed. A moment of tension. You know there's been a lot of trouble around here lately, right? Yes. So, if you are okay with it, I was thinking that together we could. Just then, my phone rang. Such timing. I apologized to Kai and answered the phone. It was Jack, my ex-boyfriend.
Naomi! Please, let's get back together. I'm begging you.
Just then, Jack was pressuring me to get back together with him.
Call me out of the blue to get back together?
Cut it out with the jokes. I don't even think a bit about wanting to get back with you. Besides, you have Emily, don't you? That Emily is a disaster. If I stay with her and get married, my life is over. Just as I thought. I knew Emily wasn't fit for marriage. A woman who can't handle household chores, how could she manage being a housewife? I had warned him. Didn't I tell you? You'll regret leaving me. You brought this on yourself. I said and hung up. Kai looked worriedly at me. I'm fine. I said it, but I was anxious. Knowing Jack's character, I didn't think he would back down. And my prediction was right. The call was just the beginning. After that, he called me several times. I ignored him, but his persistence was relentless. The next evening, as customers started to trickle in, Jack showed up at the diner. I finally found you. I heard from your acquaintance that you quit your job 2 months ago and are now working at a diner. Why aren't you answering my calls? Frightened by Jack's incredible persistence, I instinctively stepped back. Then Kai, who was in the kitchen, immediately stepped between me and Jack. Please don't cause trouble for other customers. What? Who do you think you are talking to? I won't say it again. You're disturbing other customers. If you continue, I'll call the police. At the mention of the police, Jack lost his words. Are you ordering or not? This isn't a place for complicated discussions. Reluctantly, Jack sat at the counter and picked up the menu. Thank you, Kai. Kai nodded lightly and returned to the kitchen. But then, unexpectedly, another person arrived at the diner. Why are you here? It was Emily, my sister. She seemed surprised to find me working here. It's not that surprising. Where I work has nothing to do with you, Emily. That's when Jack, sitting at the back counter, noticed Emily. Simultaneously, she also saw Jack. What are you doing here? Just came to eat a burger. But why are you here, Jack? Weren't you supposed to go out for drinks with your colleagues today? They had something come up, so we canceled. Canceled? Or did you just not want to go home and made that up? The tension between the two began to escalate. What's with that tone? Are you saying I'm lying?
You are lying. You said you were at work but went clubbing with another woman. I know everything. I told you I was invited by my boss. How many times do I have to say it? And you can't even do household chores properly, yet you keep talking about marriage. Do that when you can manage house chores. I'm trying my best. Yet you keep ordering me around. That's what annoys me.
Their ugly argument was escalating, and other customers began to look annoyed.
Why are you even here? You're not trying to get back with Naomi, are you? I wouldn't think of such a thing. You, leaving house chores to eat a burger. Unemployed people should stay home and be quiet.
It was clear this wasn't going to end anytime soon. Then Kai spoke up from the kitchen. Can you both stop? You're disturbing the other customers who are trying to eat. If you're not going to order, then both of you need to leave. But Jack and Emily were so wrapped up in their argument that they didn't even hear Kai's words and started hurling abuse at him.
Someone who can only make burgers should keep his mouth shut. Stay out of it. Seriously. We're busy here, don't interfere. Bottom rung jerk.
This was nothing but a disruption to the business. I thought Kai must be boiling with anger. But when I looked at his face, he was surprisingly calm. And looked at them curiously. What now? You still want to bother us? Then Kai said something unexpected. Ah, I see. See what? Emily, that's your name, right? Why bring that up all of a sudden? Then Kai, with a broad smile, said, I remember you. You came here once with a really cool-looking boyfriend. He was very polite and seemed kind. Emily was completely flustered by Kai's unexpected words.
What are you talking about? I don't have a boyfriend. Stop lying.
Lying? That's not the case at all. Look, I have proof right here. Kai said as he showed a photo saved on his phone. In the photo, there was Kai, looking a bit nervous, a man with a kind smile. And Emily, smirking while fiddling with her phone beside the man. See?
This doesn't prove I'm cheating.
I didn't say you cheated. I just said you came here with your boyfriend, didn't I? Isn't this man in the photo your boyfriend? Caught in her own mistake, Emily was speechless. Then Kai showed me the photo. Naomi, this is definitely Emily, right? That's definitely her. To think she was cheating even after taking Jack from me.
No, it's not like that. I wasn't cheating.
If you weren't, then why does this photo exist? Kai then showed her another photo. What?
What the heck is this?
It was a photo of the man from the diner and Emily embracing and kissing outside the diner. Seeing this, Jack was furious. Despite the many customers around, Jack turned red and confronted Emily, then pushed her out of the diner with such force that she fell to the ground and curled up. Jack then closed the diner's door and, turning to me, said something unbelievable.
I guess you're the only one for me after all. I was wrong. Let's get back together. I promise to make you happy. Marry me.
Jack knelt down, shamelessly proposing in a bewildering manner. After all, he had discarded me at his convenience, cheated with Emily. And now, finding himself in trouble again, was discarding Emily and proposing to me. His self-centeredness was beyond belief. I was so astounded, I couldn't find the words to respond. That's when.
After hearing everything, it's clear you only think about yourself. You hurt Naomi terribly, and now you want to get back together? Stop joking around. I'll protect Naomi. I won't let a scumbag like you come near her anymore. Understand? Now get out of here.
Kai's anger erupted like never before. The customers, who had witnessed everything, also glared sharply at Jack. Overwhelmed by the intensity, Jack screamed and ran out of the diner. Waiting for him outside was a police officer, patrolling the area. The officer, having heard the commotion, was observing from outside. It's not what it looks like. But Jack's excuses were futile, and he was taken away by the police. Meanwhile, Emily, having been pushed to the ground and chipped her front tooth, ran off in embarrassment. I later heard that Jack, although released by the police the next day, was sued by Kai for disrupting the business and had to pay damages. Moreover, the incident led to his demotion to a regular employee and, a week later, a transfer to a remote branch. Emily, using the compensation from Jack, fixed her broken tooth, but it never returned to its former beauty. She lost confidence in her once prized appearance and retreated to her parents' home, leading a reclusive life. Apparently, Jack and Emily broke up soon after the incident. As for me, are you ready?
Yes. All set. All right, let's go.
We were about to have our wedding ceremony. Kai's proposal to me back then, and my answer, led to this day. I had finally grasped happiness in my life. I planned to cherish and protect this happiness with Kai forever.